All right, hey, welcome to HIT, High Intensity Tactics for Growth. My name is Chris Cicchinelli, and I'm super excited about today because we're going to be talking about 6 things that I really believe that you can control in today's world that everybody keeps saying that it's uncontrollable. There's so many things that are out there. Everything's out of my control. I feel like my pay raise is out of my control. I feel like the politics out of my control. I feel like I have no control over my kids' teachers. I don't have control over my kids. All of those things that people are talking about. Now, it's funny. I know, like, if you're watching it on our video that we have on YouTube, you can see I carry a yellow notepad with me, and I'm always constantly writing down kind of affirmations or ideas that I'm having or thoughts that are going through my head about business, about life, about, even about parenting, because I feel like parenting is kind of sometimes the biggest business that we have to make sure, because we got to invest all this time, all this effort, and hopefully that we develop, a good people or a good, products that come out and can be productive in our world today. And it's crazy that I was talking to my kids the other day, talking to my wife, and we were sitting there and saying to, gosh, I just feel like I'm out of control. That was the comment at the dinner table. Like, I'm out of control right now. I haven't been able to focus on my summer because, I haven't been able to get my schoolwork done to get ready for the fall time. I feel like I'm out of control because we're right now, we're moving, we're revamping and remodeling our home. And it got me thinking. I sat down, and as I'm sitting at dinner, I said, no. Let's talk about the things that we do have control over. The things that, we might not feel like everything in our life is constantly going to go our way, but, like, I know political things are not going to go our way, right? Like I said, raises, your job, some things are not going to be things that you ultimately have in control or process over top of. But here's some things you do. Number 1, right? And I thought about this, your thoughts. Every one of us that are sitting out there right now that are listening to this, everybody that is around the world that's watching this right now, you could control your thoughts. You could control the way you think about a situation, the way, it's easier to go through life smiling than it is to frown. Now, you could sit back and get upset about what's going on. You could get upset about the things that, like, oh my gosh, I'm frustrated. Or you could do what Babe Ruth did. Now, it's so funny when you think about Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth was a Hall of Famer, right? Played for the New York Yankees. He is considered the big whammer, the home run king. And it was so funny. This guy struck out more times than he hit home runs. But the craziest piece is when he struck out, he would walk back to the bench with a big, huge smile on his face. And everybody would be like, Babe, hey, you struck out. What are you smiling for? He goes, I'm just that much closer to my next home run. And I think that that's the way in most people in today's world. They're like, hey, you might strike out on a call. You might strike out on an opportunity. Somebody might not want to do business with you. You're just that much closer to the next deal. And I think nobody thinks about that. They just get so caught up on, oh my gosh, that didn't go my way, or it didn't happen the way I anticipated it. You control your thoughts. You're in control of those. The way you attack that situation next time could be differently. Your beliefs. I have a lot of people that, they believe that they're just going to be stuck in the same situation. They say, the thing I hear a lot, Chris, I feel like I'm on the proverbial treadmill. I'm not getting anywhere in life. I feel like every time I take 4 steps forward, I take 5 steps backwards. Well, if that's what you believe and that's what you're speaking out into the world, then that's what's going to constantly keep happening to you. Your beliefs have so much conviction around them that you start believing everything that you start putting out into the world. And I tell people all the time, like, listen, we've got to start changing those beliefs. Those belief systems are, hey, no, you know what? I might not be where I am today, but I believe my bank account's going to look like this. I believe that my business is going to look like this. My team's going to look like that. My Rolodex for, my funnel is going to look like this. That's the mindset that people can. You can control the way you believe about a situation. You could believe that, my kids, I want all of them to be productive citizens. I believe that. I'm not going in believing, oh my God, my kids are pieces of that's not what I want to sit back and tell. I could believe that I have the best organization and the best team, or I could believe and tell myself that my team's unproductive, that they don't perform, that they don't do anything. And that's what I see. I see too many people that sit back and they say all the things that they don't think people around them could do. Instead, what you should do is start putting belief in more people, and that's where you'll start seeing more prosper. Your attitude. I always say, I have this in my sales talk, There's hard work, there's luck, there's education, there's all this other stuff. But the one thing that you control in life and in business to be successful is your attitude. The attitude of life is how you win the game. I'm sitting there talking to third grade kids that are playing football, to talking to executives that are in my C-suite running a $200 million business for us. And it's the same conversation. It's how are you going to attack something with a proper attitude for today? How are you going to look at something different? How are you going to make sure that the attitude of willingness to kind of go at it even when you don't know the outcome, right? Hey, you got to get in there and compete. You got to keep going and you got to keep pushing forward. That is an attitude that I see so many people that if they have that desire to win, that desire to continue to keep learning, the desire to go out and help people, that's all attitude. That's all it is. Or you could have the attitude that, you know what, I'm in this for myself. The attitude that, you know what, everybody that's surrounding me wants to see me fail. All the people that, I've had, doing business with, they money's too tight right now. They just don't want to have anything. They're not willing to buy anything right now. That's an attitude. You could either have a poor attitude or you can have a great attitude. But I will tell you right now, you control that. I don't control that. Nobody around you control that. People are like, well, Chris, I have all these negative people around me. Well, then find new people to surround yourself with. Or if you know that they're negative, then you know what? Deal with it in doses. But quit telling yourself you have no control over your attitude. Your kids put you in a bad attitude. Your significant other puts you in a bad attitude. Your team puts you in a bad attitude. No, you know what? You put yourself in a bad attitude because you don't have your boundaries set up to say, you know what? I'm only going to let this much affect me because I know at the end of the day, what they're saying are just words. I need to believe it for myself. What is my attitude? What am I going to look like today? How am I going to attack that? For your emotions. Your emotions are important. I think in business, I see too many people that in business that instead of understanding business is transactional, and I hate that people challenge me on this, but what I mean when I say a business is transactional, I see too many people that get frustrated with a team member, they get frustrated with a client, they get frustrated with a customer. And instead of thinking through that process and understanding, look, your job as a leader is to serve other people, like it or love it, or don't like it, don't love it. You're here to do a job, and that's to serve people. And so sometimes when you're serving people, they're not going to treat you with maybe some of the utmost respect. They're not going to maybe give you the benefit of the doubt. That doesn't give you the authority or the power to go back at somebody with an emotional response like, you don't know how hard I work. You don't know how much time I put into this. You don't know what I do for you. You know how many leaders that I have talked to in my journey over the last 19 years that will send a response without thinking about that response because their emotions got the best of them? See, that's why I say business is transactional. When you understand that that's your role, that's your life. Like I can get frustrated with my kids. I can lose my temper. I can be upset. I can be frustrated. Or I can look at it this way. They're going to constantly push my buttons. You don't know how hard dad worked today. You think they care how hard dad worked today? No, they don't care. Do they love you? Yes, but they have their own needs. They have their own things that are going on. I can't get frustrated with him. I've got to make sure, though, I sit down and say, guys, dad doesn't want to deal with that right now. Or we'll talk about that later. Or, you know what? Yes, I know that that's important to you right now, but that's just not on my agenda. I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm not going to get upset because I can control those emotions. I can control that because that's the thing I got control over. I might not be happy with the conversation. I might not be happy with being pressed. I might not be happy with somebody pushing my buttons. But at the end of the day, I need to make sure I compartmentalize that and say, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Control those emotions so that you can go back and you sit back and say, hey, I'll deal with that when I'm ready. I'll deal with that when the time is right. That's the important stuff. You can control the people closest to you. You can control your inner circle. You can control your friend, the people that you let around you, that you take advice from. I do not take advice from 30,000 people that I work with. I do not take advice from everybody that works in my corporate office. I do not take advice from every one of my friends, because if I did, oh my gosh, my ADD would be kicked into high gear. See, I control the closest confidants, the people that are going to help me grow myself, grow my business, grow my family, grow my team. See, I choose that. Now, a lot of people are like, well, I have these friends that are really negative. I have this one family member that is constantly always bringing me down or hijacking my time or whatever. Okay, great. So what are you going to do about it? Well, they're family. Yeah, they're family, but what are you going to do about it? Because you can't let that affect you from a business perspective. They can't be on your inner circle to tell you if you can or cannot make it. They cannot be there to tell you if you're going to be successful or not successful. You can't listen to that kind of stuff. You could choose to listen to them. You could choose to take their advice, or you could choose not to. See, I'm going to listen and hear everybody. I'll hear them. I'll let people talk to me, tell me what they're thinking. But it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to take their advice to run my business, to grow my team, to help me with my family. You control the inner circle. You control the people that are around you. Remember that. Gosh, I hate when I hear people say that they don't have the control over it and the people that are around them are so negative. That's your choosing. And I think you got to understand that's a big choice. You know, when you move up to high levels of leadership with me, the first thing I learned is to have a good inner circle is one of the most important things running a successful business. The people around you. Surround yourself with great, talented people. They're going to help propel you and your business forward. 6, and the final, your actions. You control your actions. You control when you don't want to go do a party, you don't want to do go do a deal, or you're tired, or you don't want to make that phone call, or you don't want to send that text message, you don't want to do that newsletter that you need to do to make sure that you're going out there and working with your clients. You have the action not to go to a national event to constantly keep your education going forward. Your actions of not listening to podcasts, your actions of not watching a TED Talk, your actions of not going out there and bettering yourself each and every day, your actions of not taking care of your asset, which is yourself. You're the number one. See, those are your actions. You control those. You control that, hey, I could get up early in the morning and then go and spend some time on myself. You control the fact of your actions to take yourself to an event to go out there and learn. You control the actions to go on that sales call. You control the actions to go make that telephone call. You control all of those. Those actions are the things that are going to make your business grow. That's where I say commit to the process, detach from the outcome, right? You control those actions that need to happen each and every day to get the outcomes that you want out of life. Those are the things that you as a business owner have to make sure that you're paying attention to each and every day. When you sit back in a world that everybody says that you have no control, it's so funny. You do have the control. And those are just 6 things that you can control over. You have it. You got to quit saying making money is out of your control, living healthy lifestyles out of control, or retirement's out of your control. No, all of these things, your thoughts, your belief, your attitude, your emotion, the people you surround yourself with, your actions in life, all of that. Today's the day you take the stance. Today's the day you say, you know what? I'm going to start here. These are the things I'm going to go out there and control. And each day, the more and more you get grip over it, each day, the more and more you get control over them. Each day, you're going to start seeing yourself living happier. You're going to see yourself living healthier. You're going to start seeing the people that surround you are going to lift you up, not tear you down. You're going to start understanding that you actually have the control to do the actions and efforts that you want. You're not going to use excuses anymore. Excuses are going to be thrown out the door. Excuses are over. Actions are the new thing. Actions are what's going to lift you up. Actions are what's going to build you. Actions are what's going to get your team where it needs to go to. And your attitude. Remember, today, smiling's a lot easier. Be Babe Ruth. When you maybe strike out, have that smile on your face because you're just that much closer to your next deal. Remember, you've always had the pen to write your new chapters. You've always had the ability to go out there and to build your life, your business, whatever it is, bigger, better, and stronger. Thanks so much for tuning in to Hit today. Remember, rate us, review us, pay it forward to somebody else. Have a great day.